Alice in Dissonance is a rather off-the-cuff indie group who developed the visual novel series Fault, which are self-professed cinematic visual novels that tell gripping tales of human drama in a world where science fiction has melded with fantasy. First off, that instantly sells me on playing these titles, and leaves me annoyed that I hadn't noticed them earlier. Their newest title, Fault, Silence, and Pedant, LIGHTKRAVTE, which I will refer to as LIGHTKRAVTE from here on due to space and time reasons, is supposed to serve as a point that anyone can jump into the series from. Sign me up. Taking place in a fantasy world's kingdom, Rugzenahide, LIGHTKRAVTE is a prequel story to the upcoming Fault, Silence the Pedant, set in a universe of swords with a fairly hard magic system. However, this is not a story that involves our MC becoming an incredibly powerful mage or a fierce warrior who will also be able to woo over half a dozen different anime girls, despite ours still being a strongly puberty-influenced teenager. Our protagonist, Kaji, son of a fruit farmer, has far less lofty goals. He wants to be a fantastic painter, one who paints portraits of beautiful women, which is all of them by his standards, and also can earn money out of it. Ignoring how difficult that is in our own reality alone, Kaji has one slight road bump. He's an awful painter. He's also running into the point in life where people need to start looking into what kind of job they're going to pursue for the rest of their lives. Time is of the essence as Kaji looks into what he can do to improve his abilities before it's too late. Right off the bat, this game is visually a masterclass. These backgrounds are fantastic in their own right, and then you watch them get used in a segmented fashion with zooms and layers which can incorporate the backgrounds into the scene itself. The character sprites look extremely good, and while some of the animations are a little stilted, I enjoyed them immensely. It's especially impressive coming from a smaller dev team. There's also a fun little, I'd hazard to call it a gimmick, but the player can alter the perspective of the scene and shift the angle using the mouse, which really takes advantage of the layered backgrounds to make them and the characters even more engrossing. And when you combine these factors along with an absurd amount of layered CGs to work with in this style, how many compliments can I even dole out to the visuals before I run out of positive adjectives? Far too many. And the visuals are also supported by a really good score, and some especially good ambient noises to really sell certain scenes. The menus look nice, but one thing that stands out is the lack of an extras menu. Obviously this isn't necessary, but things like a CG gallery are commonplace here, and the art in this title was exemplary, so I wanted to go back and take a look at the gallery after I was done. Good thing I saved frequently with multiple slots. Something you'll notice quickly is this story's copious amounts of lingo, lore, and world building. This is simultaneously very important and also not at all. It's not terribly important for the story in particular, but it seems that this story is very definitely a springboard for future entries for newcomers, though it does this in a way that doesn't make me feel like I've been lore dumped for the sake of it when it comes to how the magic system works. However, when it comes to some other world building, particularly in regards to how the country works, what feels like a more important conspiracy plotline seems to be introduced to hang in the background to be dealt with later, but before it manages to get anywhere, the story ends. Whilst it's not relevant to the overall tale being told here, the fact that it was set up and then goes very largely unaddressed ends with that feeling like it was something of a waste of time, and I thought the story was about to pivot to this narrative thread a whole 5 seconds before the end credits started. Outside of background plot threads though, is our main narrative. This doesn't offer the strongest start thanks to our protagonist's very self-serving motivation, but curves around thanks to some fantastic character writing and an extremely solid cast of characters. You can knock this one out in just 7 hours, leaving me wanting so much more in a good way. Besides the political conspiracy plotline, I really want to see more of the main cast. It's a fun group of friends I'd love to hang out with. LIGHTKRAVTE is one of the most visually impressive titles I've read in a good while, to a staggering degree. With a technically impressive background score and a solid story, I've been entirely sold on this series, and I want to read the rest of it very soon. I just need to find the time. Noisy Pixel is giving Fault, Silence the Pedant, LIGHTKRAVTE an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to check out the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.